listening to Shields and Shenanigans, a D&D 5e podcast.
We are live.
Hello.
I was about ready to swear right off the bat.
Yeah. So we have finished our one shot with big air quotes, and our one shot was so great.
You mean 3 shots? Oh, did I mess up your joke?
No, not necessarily.
But now I'm trying to avoid combining the two adventures in my head. But the thing that set off our adventure was allegedly what's setting it off is a burnt orphanage that we were investigating. Although I'm going to guess there's political machinations behind the scenes that we're not aware of. I
cannot confirm nor deny one way or the other.
Nonetheless, for our investigation of the orphanage, we have found a couple leads. One, we found that little Jimmy, right before the attack on the orphanage, left to the Parvini estate. We had just visited, I think, an abandoned university, which was an alchemy class type thing. There are 3 dead dudes with red robes.
Yep.
And one of the red-robed people had a note that said, "Report to Belfort for the summer solstice with the crystal of the South Seas islet. Do not return without it."
Yep.
And we also know that these red-robed people, they have a pattern on their clothes that looks like it's from the Hayford clan.
No, that's not what it was. No. Wait. Am I echoing? Uh-oh. Okay, it's gone. So, no, the thing that looked like it was from the Hayford clan. It was a specific bottle of whiskey that the bottle's design was from the Hayford clan. That was the indicator.
Bottle of whiskey from the Hayford clan.
Whiskey. Because it was in my possession, and I gave it away.
Yeah, so you were at the Parvini estate, and what you had learned from, I guess, the parents about Timmy was that there were like 3 of his favorite books, and one of them was St. James and the Dragon, and they are having a hard time finding it.
There was also The Prince and the 12 Goblins.
Yep.
And I didn't get the other one.
I don't remember.
That's what it was. I don't remember.
No. We'll have to watch episode 2.
I remember I talked to the horse people. I sold my son into a marriage. And then I found out something about that book of the dragon, or what's it called?
St. James and the Dragon.
Yep.
St. James and the Dragon.
It's totally not a ripoff of a fairy tale that exists.
You wouldn't rip off a fairy tale. You've got more integrity than that.
No. Anyways, that.
You think I have artistic integrity for a D&D campaign, sir? Shame on you.
I do remember that I had to requisition the whiskey because it's a very vital alchemy ingredient.
Yes.
Meaning I gave it to you without realizing that you would keep it.
Yeah. Nonetheless. And I think that we're still investigating the university. We captured some little flying. We captured one little flying thing.
we left the university. We just left the house of the nobles. After talking to them, we are already done with the university.
Mm-hmm.
Then we captured. So someone captured a bar that they're.
We took over that armory, too.
You know, it wasn't a bar; it was a weapons depot.
Yeah. Anyways, we requisitioned that apparently from the dead person now.
What do you mean requisitioned? It always belonged to Alexander's family.
Yeah, we got a long tradition of buying and selling weapons and making them.
Or just killing the people that happen to have the store full of them.
He should
No.
know he's employed by the Ministry of Truth.
See, you forget that I think it was Metal Minister, had a great natural 20 crit roll on forging the documents to me. They're mine. That store's mine.
Oh yeah, no, everyone believes that store was yours. It's a documents for self-inventing. And also, Dave, the store owner, killed himself.
Yeah.
With
It was very tragic.
A little help from some people nearby.
No, he didn't kill himself. He got because we marched through the city with his head. Remember? Yeah. He didn't kill himself. He was an infidel or a heretic, and he died a heretic's death.
I see. Well, you can decide what your official story is going to be later.
All right. I think that's all the important stuff.
Yep.
I should have.
Yes. We did go into the sewers, but that's then we washed off, and then the next thing that we did was go to the weapons shop. Okay. Yep.
We ruined
if I
our.
remember correctly, the last thing you guys did was visit the Barbinis.
And I found out about
Yeah.
that book.
Because I pissed all over their wall, and then there was the sound of gravel being poured and that funness.
I talked to the horse and horse people. I forget the name.
The Rohirrim.
they didn't really have names.
Dev did something exciting too. He do
They
something.
They tried to marry his daughter off to her because she's a spoiled.
Didn't he turn her into like a zealot?
Yes, and this will come up later.
He's founding his own holy order.
Yes.
No, I'm already part of a holy order. I'm just expanding it.
And that means I'm your quartermaster now.
Yes.
supplying you with all the weapons.
What's the name
At a
of the
premium.
quartermaster of the Knights Templar? I wonder.
I don't know. I'm gonna take his job though.
Templar make Templar face.
Hey, in like 3 sessions, I went from being a tribe to be owning a business.
Yes, you've turned into a capitalist, sir.
Which is
Well,
my
actually, not
character's
really.
goal.
Because there's no free market. You just have a bunch of oligarchs.
All right. Well, I think that we are mostly caught up
Does
now.
that make him the oligarch of weaponry?
I mean, I can produce weaponry and then sell weaponry.
I mean, you own a store. It doesn't mean that you can make the weapons, though.
I'm a blacksmith, remember?
Well, yeah, but you can't really make it in the city because in the city there's a monopoly.
So
Oh, well,
what you're
I can
saying
bring
is
them
we
in
need
from the
to,
tribe.
we need
Smuggle
to
them
make
in.
ghost swords.
So Well,
Yep.
it's good thing I'm going to have to talk to our little thief and see about smuggling in swords to sell.
Alright. So basically, the next part of your quest, you would have to go to Hayford to start. So it's a matter of what you guys want to do in the city before you leave.
Are holy orders allowed to produce swords?
I don't know. I didn't think of that.
Well, are we talking about Pope level here, or is it just going to be...
Well, I was thinking of producing... Would the Holy Order bind swords to arm itself? Would any restrictions apply to that?
Historically, that's what happened.
Well, yeah, but this isn't historical medieval Europe.
Oh, okay, well.
I mean,
I'm
like,
sure
there are areas where people are allowed to elect mayors. So, there's little areas with, like, pseudo-democracy.
Yes.
Oh, pseudo-democracy is the best kind of democracy.
Yeah, where it's fake. Yeah, you'll have to ask that with the legal scholars on how that works.
Okay. I'm not a legal scholar. I'm a blacksmith and shop owner.
So at the Parvini estate, have we figured anything out about who this little Jimmy is and why he went there?
Because they adopted him.
Any particular reason?
Oh yeah. The horse breeder had like 14 daughters and no sons, and he needed an heir.
Okay, I buy that excuse.
His wife kept giving birth to girls.
Okay, I buy it.
I'm gonna get a nice dowry from one of those girls. I'm just saying.
You mean the dog-faced pony soldier?
I don't care if she's a dog face. My youngest son.
So it does sound like either Belfort, maybe, I don't know how far away that is, or the Hayford clan be the next spot that we go to.
Ow, damn it, it's in my hand.
I have 3/4 of a head of cabbage, so I guess I'm ready to travel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm following you guys. I told you guys about the book, and that's the important thing, I think.
We don't have a copy of the book.
Nope.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get a copy of the book. Let's go to the library.
I'm not entirely sure I see the value of looking up a fairy tale, but sure, I will investigate.
Okay.
Oh.
So, are you going to look for a library?
Yes.
Okay. All right, roll me an investigation check.
I get to roll an actual d20 again.
Right.
Exciting.
Oh,
Well, 10 plus investigate.
Yep.
15.
Yeah. So you're like looking around for a while, and then you see Alexander's grandchildren for a second, and his son chasing after them, and then you just keep going. I'm gonna do that every time I hear them, but yeah. What is it? Eventually, you kind of you kind of start to notice that there doesn't seem to be any any real library building around here. You could probably ask one of the richer people, though.
Is this still in the same town that I have my practice in?
No, this is in the city of Isengrim.
Okay,
You live out in the countryside with your wizard tower near like a village or whatever.
Sure. If there's a like a nunnery or like some place that takes in, if there were an orphanage nearby, I'm sure we could find at least someone who has a copy of the book, something like that.
Well, I'm a folk hero. Can I use folk hero and talk to a commoner and see if I can find out where to find a children's book?
Sure. You can speak to a commoner.
Oh wait, they wouldn't own a book.
Yeah. So there's a gentleman named Greg.
Hi, Greg.
He's a bar owner. His name is Gregory Gregsmore, the Greggiest Gregman that ever Gregged.
Hi, Greg. Do you know where I can find and purchase a book?
So,
a children's
what
book?
are you talking about?
Something and something the dragons.
Well, I don't know of any books titled Something and Something the Dragon.
Hey, wizard, what's the name of that book?
There's two of you.
St. James and the Dragon.
St. James and the Dragon.
Yes. St. James and the Dragon. I've never heard of that book before in my life. However, I think the Parvini family might have books.
Okay.
Is that the family we met with earlier?
Well, I don't know if you've met them before.
I think we were meeting with the Parvinis.
Well,
Yeah, you guys are meeting
the
with the
DM, not the character. I just don't remember because it's been a while.
Yeah, no, the Parvini family was the family you guys were visiting.
Yeah. So I guess we go get the book from them. Or actually, I will roll insight to see if he's lying.
Okay.
And I got a 5, so I probably don't know anything.
Oh, he is being completely honest with you. This man is a paragon of honesty and honest business.
All right, Can I roll inside as well? Let's see if I could do
That's
anything
metagaming.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
Can we say
metagaming.
Alexander's character is naturally paranoid or something?
Look, all I'm saying is he didn't want to roll insight until you failed. So I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to take his word for it because I have no need to roll insight at all because my friend, the
Most wise paladin?
yes, that's the word I'm thinking of.
Yes, the
I've been up since
austere
2 a.m.
religious scholar.
You break. The wise and awesome paladin.
Should we just call him an austere religious scholar?
No, I'm going to call him the frickin' zealot.
Hello, I can't hear you guys right now. Oh, you're back now.
The zealot.
Okay. All right, so Alexander,
Zealot is just another way to say awesome.
Yes.
that is entirely correct. So do you want to go back to the estate?
Hey, knife ears, we need to go back to the estate and get the book.
I'm not opposed to this.
Oh, excuse me. That is a very offensive stereotype. We do not like to use that language in this community.
Shut up.
Okay, I just have to call you out. For,
Fucking lying sack of human garbage. Tell me that we can't call an elf knife ear when I'm standing right next to knife ear. I happen to be good friends with this knife ear, so I'm singing fun.
Some of my best
Moron.
friends are elves.
We
All right, keep going.
Sorry, Middlester, you're gonna have to edit that.
nope.
All right, what's next? What?
So I'm. Yeah, I will be willing to make a. Because I think we left on good terms from the Parvinis.
Very good terms.
So I think just a quick. This is kind of odd, but did you do you happen to have this sort of a book in your possession? We think there might be.
I stand well away from the building, however, considering they're probably not happy that I pissed all over their wall.
So I will. I'll knock on the gates, and if they let me in, I'll just quickly. I know this sounds odd.
A guard comes up. Why are you here? I thought you left.
There is,
Did you forget your watch or something?
in a manner of speaking, yes. We think that there was a note left in a book that came from the orphanage.
Right.
Just before we go too much further, it would be worth checking just to confirm. There's a. I would like to be able to look at little Jimmy's.
He raises an eyebrow.
There were some books: The Prince and the 12 Goblins, Saint James and the Dragon, and the I Don't Remember. There's something either by the author of these particular books. Whatever it is, there's just something amiss. I just want to confirm if there was a note left on them.
Wait a second. What's weird about children's fairy tales?
Nothing weird about the fairy tales themselves, other than these particular books.
He kind of like squints his eyes and like looks both ways conspiratorially, and he's like, "Wait, so have you heard of the rumor that a secret cabal of people have been putting hidden messages in children's books?"
I have heard of that. I can neither confirm nor deny. They're trying to make the children into savages, and just believe that it's okay to But it's not all children's books. It's just certain ones that are tampered with.
Well, yeah, certain ones, but like most of them, by this very secretive group of people.
I step
And make
in
them
and
want to
suggest
embrace
that
the one world government.
I suggest that the people who are modifying them are probably heretics.
We must kill the heretics.
I was going to say they were elves.
We're just operating on anything that I can know and prove. And I just want to take a quick look and examine these particular tomes.
Look, I've got plenty of evidence that those very shifty knife eaters, all right, are totally up to something shady.
Hey, I don't like that language. Do not use that language.
Not you. You're one of the good ones.
I tried to persuade him by saying that investigating this book will help us uncover the culprits behind the children's book modification, and that he needs to, and that this is very urgent, and he needs to get us access to this book immediately. Can I roll with advantage for?
Yes, because you're giving it to his insane paranoia.
Yeah. All right. I
Given
get
to
I get a 16 on my persuade.
Well, we do need to stop that elfish conspiracy. All right, I'll let you in. And
Thank you.
he opens the gates, and then he says, "Man, you really are one of the good ones."
Wow.
Trust me, there's nothing good about him.
See,
Other day,
I don't
saw-
even think the guard is wrong. I'm open to the possibility. I just
If
don't.
elves aren't
Eric, you're not
writing
right.
all
Come
of
on,
the
let's go.
children's books in the world, then why do they have pointed ears? Checkmate, elf lover.
Wow.
I honestly, that's not even wrong. I can't argue that because there's nothing connecting A and B. All right.
I was just making a ridiculous conspiracy theorist.
Oh no,
that was good, by the way.
seems legit to me.
Alright, so you go in the beginning of the state.
That paladin's gonna love that because now he can feed into more heretic players.
So do we get access either to like the nursery or the who'd be the maid that would read to the kids?
So as we all know, the purpose of life is to kill heretics, to drive them before us,
Death to all
and to hear
heretics.
the lamentations of their gods.
Death to all
Both gods?
heretics.
Yeah, so what is it? Yeah, you would yeah, so Miss Parvini will escort you immediately to the library, and she will shake your hand vigorously, Ezekiel, saying that, oh yes, totally, that she is changing her ways, and that she decided to burn all of her finery dresses as they are unnecessary,
I say
and
that
and a
it
vice
is
of
good.
greed.
I say that it is good to see someone see the light of Pence.
Exactly.
It depends.
I
Give
just
mercy.
give an expression that says that this world is completely mad, and I'm just on it for the ride.
Oh my god. Okay. Yep. So you have access to the library, and you notice there's like a desk that has a bunch of notes on it, and there's a bunch of books about what is it how to spot a heretic. Another one is the secret society of elves, and how they are all heretics.
Okay.
Another one.
Interesting. What is the position of my religion on elves?
Well, what's its position on heretics?
Uh-oh.
That
Oh,
they
it has
should
a bad
die?
position on heretics, but it doesn't have a position that elves are inherently heretics.
But if
Their
they
blood is-
are,
Its
Well,
position
obviously, if they-
its position is that all sentient or sapient creatures are children of Pence or Gunther, and must follow him.
Wait, I'm a little bit confused. I thought Gunther was the actual god and Pence was just the patron saint of smacking.
Yeah.
stuff
Sorry,
in the
I was
game.
sorry. I messed up. But yeah, no.
Ah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, all of the all sapient creatures. All sapient creatures are children of Gunther who must worship them. He's back. Yeah, so there's like other textbooks there too.
I
And
I'm going to.
one of them is about how all rich people need to give up their money. Another one is about how if you reveal your face, then it means that you are a whore.
So I am going to.
And the library is completely open. That just seems to be the books that Miss Parvini is studying right now.
Ezekiel approves.
Yeah. And there's another one that says there's another book talking about the cathedral and why dictatorship is a good idea.
Miss Parvini
I'm gonna read that
is
cathedral book.
a psycho in training. Okay, I have that in my notes.
Yeah, you mispronounced Holy Inquisitor.
Holy
Inquisitrix.
Inquisitor Miss Parvini is a psycho in training. All right, I am going to look for the. I guess the little illuminated manuscripts of Saint James and the Dragon.
Okay, so that would be in the children's section. So
Yep.
there are some shelves that are very low to the ground.
All right.
All right.
21.
Yeah, so you can find a copy pretty quickly. It seems to be very old, and reading through it, you see a pretty average fairy tale. You know, there's a kingdom who are in one city, and there's an evil dragon who demands that they give them one human every month as tribute. And when this happens, the dragon eats them. And the king decided to put in a lottery so that it would be fair and that no one chooses who does it. Eventually, though, the king's daughter is the king's daughter is her name comes up, and the princess is going to be sacrificed to the dragon. However, Saint James, the hero, then defeats the dragon and slays it, and that is the end of the story.
Pretty pictures and everything.
I suggest to Jack that he make a knowledge check on it while I make an insight check, and we try and work together from those two different approaches.
See,
I'm gonna roll an inside check too because I can, and it's one of my skills.
All right, my insight rolled 11.
Alrighty.
And I'll also roll I didn't get a good perception anyway.
I got 14
On what? You're in 14 on what?
on insight.
All right. Jack, what did you get? What did you get in your investigation?
Investigation. 18 plus 5 is 23.
All right.
Nice.
So, I guess what you two get from your insight is that this is a children's book. So very, very clear that is what it is. Yes, but Cold Visor. One of the things you notice immediately is that this book is very delicate, and you had to be very careful to move the pages without breaking anything. And it had a very kind of almost sickening crinkle every time you carefully turn the pages. So one of the things you do know is that this seems to be a very old edition of the book, which means that it wasn't one of the newer copies that the Booker family was printing. So that's one thing you know. Another thing is it seems to be an incredibly innocuous story, and it seems to be that of an average fairy tale. But with that investigation check, one of the things you remember is that the design on the red robes of the cultists seems to have a scale pattern.
Yes, I do. We do remember that.
Yep, and the story where someone slays a dragon was one of the ones that the pastor had on him before he was killed.
Now, we know that this is the same red, whatever it's called, as the ones in the university?
What do you mean?
So in the abandoned university, we found some dead red-robed people with black scale robes.
Yes, robed. That's what I was thinking of. The word that eluded me was robe.
Yep.
Screw you guys, I've
They're
been up
black
since 2
outline
a.m.
to indicate the scale pattern, but yeah. So the cultists who, or part of the cultists who burned down the village, have like red scale patterns on their robes, and the dragon in the book is red. And the pastor owned a copy of this book, and in this book, the hero slays the dragon.
I'm
Right.
gonna suggest we take this book with us.
No,
You know?
this is too tenuous of a thread to pull on. I'll do a quick look at the Prince and the 12 Goblins.
Okay.
I don't know. That's why I'm saying we should take the book with us, so we have it at our disposal. For further investigation purposes, we can take property.
I roll insight on the next book, and I get a 7.
Okay, so the Prince and the 12 Goblins is probably part of this propaganda in order to influence the children, because you see the goblins in this are portrayed as smart. Therefore, this is part of the conspiracy.
All right, I roll investigation to see who is behind this conspiracy, and I get a 1.
I got a 6. And
Okay,
that's
so-
modified, like 1 plus 5.
Okay, so clearly the people in with that natural one, clearly the people in charge.
It's not. It's a dirty one, not a natural one.
Okay, yeah, but so with that one, all right, it's not going to be as bad, but with that one, clearly it's probably some of the drow, specifically in the like lower one of the lower class quarters of the city, and there should probably be an investigation into that at some point.
I make a
It's
note.
probably them that did it.
I make a note that I need to investigate the heresy in the Drow Quarter.
Heresy everywhere.
Yes. There is a heretic under every bedsheet.
Not every
We're gonna
bedsheet,
Only the
but a lot
heretic
of them.
bedsheets.
We're gonna be in the heretic calendar.
So no hidden sheets of paper, no notes written on it, nothing written in code.
I'm gonna suggest we take this book with
I
us
was
as
dropping
well
hints pretty
investigation purposes.
pretty hard on that one. Okay, maybe the cultists who had robes with the dragon pattern. Maybe they didn't like what was in that book.
I mean, I can guess what the thing is, but my character rolled like a 1 on his like a 5 on his insight. So.
Oh yeah, but Jack rolled a 23, so I was.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to figure it out by giving him all the pieces there, but yeah.
Well, they have the same. Just because they have like dragon scale patterns doesn't mean they're. Like, the dragon's a common theme. I'm not seeing.
Can I roll insight with advantage to build off of his insight?
Yeah, sure.
And I still only get a 9.
Yeah. All right. So clearly, Yeah, you can't seem to gather anything from it. It's very weird.
I will say aloud all of the things that might be relevant, but beyond that, I think we just leave it here and I guess continue on to Hayford.
I'm still going to suggest we take
All
these
right.
books.
I am just going to go ahead and
investigation
suggest
purposes.
that the cultists are dragon cultists.
You could guess that, but
Yes, I'm going to guess that.
in any case, I think we have exhausted this lead here, and we should head out to the Hayford clan.
Yep. You see Miss Parvini pull out another book, and it's something about riding the tiger. You have no idea what that means.
I actually do not know what that means.
I think it's from Hop.
No. No, it's another authoritarian nonsense.
So is anybody going to come outside and tell me what's going on?
Is it
since I've
like
been outside the whole
riding the lightning?
No.
Uh,
No, just Google it. But yeah.
Wait, did we lose?
And don't say where it's from.
Morning, my love.
All right.
All right. So
Um,
you
It's
want to
probably from Hitler, isn't it?
go?
time? Oh
No.
lord!
Okay. In any case, we've exhausted this particular line of research, and it's time to head to the Hayford clan.
Is anyone going to come outside and tell me what's going on since I've had to stay outside the whole time? Since these guards have already tried to shoot me once.
Well,
Look, they only
I'm going outside with the
They
book.
tried
Well-
to shoot you for minor vandalism. Okay.
We didn't really
Which
find
is a capital
anything out.
offense.
yeah, I would not say this is a particularly enlightening. There's no super secret stuff hidden in there. We still have to go to the Hayfords.
I'm going to requisition both of these books, all the books, and I'm walking out the door.
Wait, so are you requisitioning just the children?
Yep, for the investigation of the crime.
Okay.
Just the
We
two
can do
kid
that.
books, not the whole library.
Just the kid books. That was just the
Yeah,
three
that
little
makes
books we
more
were
sense.
talking about.
Okay. So that you
What, you think I'm taking
about goblins.
You think I'm taking the library over in the name of the investigation?
I don't know. Maybe you wanted to become a bookseller.
Don't
maybe.
tempt me. I'll find the deed.
Don't you mean
Sure,
Kaimanos will find the deed?
I'll find the deed and I'll give it to Kaimas and we will be partners.
I see. All right. So you guys get out with your children's books, and you see basically Kaimenos and like 15 guards all staring at him.
Nothing to see here, guys. Leave him alone.
I'm just kind of leaning against the wall across the street and grinning at them.
They are scowling viciously at you. They
I
are
hand-
very offended that they can see you.
I hand the books over to him and say, the investigation went nowhere.
So what do you want me to do with these?
You're the
You can read
rogue.
them to the orphans at the community center.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, I was just giving suggestions. And then he said,
I'm about ready to shoot you with my crossbow.
what did I do?
Who's
name
this
of
guy
Pen-
again?
He's the guy who was managing the bread line.
Did I already scan him for heresy?
I don't remember, but he's
I'm gonna say, hey,
7
nice
feet away
here.
from
I
you at
think
the
we have a
moment.
heretic.
I
Following us.
think we really need to everyone. I think it's really time that we need to go to Hayfords because I look at my wrist. It's time to go.
Yeah.
All right, I follow.
Okay. All right, so
Ignite
you're going to go on your
What's the likelihood
great,
of him
amazing
being
journey.
a heretic?
Look, everything's heresy. Everything's heresy if you try hard enough.
Okay. I really want to shoot him.
But you don't know if he's a heretic yet.
That's why I'm asking the knife figures.
Well, he's 70 feet away. He's outside of the range. All right, I'll grab my notes.
Oh Lord.
No, don't.
Right. So it's going to take you a few days to get to the Hayford clan. And computer, please go, move. Scroll
Quick
down.
Question.
Yeah.
How far does that integration of background events into the storyline go?
What do you mean?
Actually, this... Do I get a gun now?
No. What happens is that someone was blacksmithing, and there was like a kind of like a clasping noise or whatever that happened. They pinged the anvil with their hammer in a very stereotypical fantasy way by a guy who has no idea how blacksmithing works.
Lord.
I'm gonna tell him he did it wrong and walk away.
Is anyone getting sort of like a little, like, angry bees thing in the background sound?
Sounds like a fan is running or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That might just be my computer.
That's a massive
That
swarm.
sounds like
around.
a computer that is.
You're passing by a bunch of beekeepers on your way. They all wave at you. They're very friendly. But yeah,
that's probably my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. By the way, Devin.
for some reason along your trail to the Hatred Clan, there's just like a row of just different beekeepers.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
After
Immensely.
about a half hour or so, it starts thinning out, but you still see a beekeeper every now and then.
So, is anybody going to tell me why they handed me a bunch of books?
All right.
No, I'm actively not going to do that.
I do not know either.
And then I just dropped them on the ground on the side of the road.
All right. I've got some food. Got food. I've got my my pack. Got my walking cane. It's time for us to go.
And all of the books are now on the ground.
I think we should go.
All right, so you leave the children's books there.
I think so.
Okay.
Nobody's going to tell me what they're for. I'm not carrying useless junk.
All right.
Sorry. Honestly,
I take the books back.
Worth of books on the ground. Yep.
I take the books back. They're for our
Okay.
investigation.
Okay. You see
We have.
Oh my god, this is amazing. All right, so as you get, it takes you a few days. You pass by a bunch of villages. One of the things you notice the second you go outside the city is that people are a lot more easygoing, and people just start talking to you randomly. It's a breath of fresh air. But,
these are my people. These are my people. I'm
Yeah.
going to chat with them. I'm going to ask them how they're doing. I'm going to ask
Exactly.
them how their wives doing, how their kids are doing. I am going to go full old person on them.
Yep. So instead of 4 days, it takes 5 days because
I roll perception and insight to see if any of them are heretics. I got a 17 on perception and a 23 on insight.
None of them appear to be heretics.
Excellent. I am pleased.
Exactly. So as you get nearer to the Hayford clan, it starts the terrain starts getting more and more mountainous, and you start seeing the mountain goats and such.
This
And
is why
other
quarterstaff is the best weapon, because it also is a walking stick.
exactly, and other such creatures that I have not created yet because I'm still world building. Hooray! Yep. Yep. So you then So you then get to the main town of Hayford, where there seems to be a commotion going on.
Okay.
And it's
Can we?
there's a woman there in tribal robes. She seems to be younger, probably like 21, and a bunch of different tribesmen who seem to be village chiefs, and they're all they seem to be having very panicked discussion.
How far away are we? Are we able to just kind of watch this from a distance, or?
You're probably about like 200 feet away.
So they can probably kind of see us. We can see them, but just not a whole lot of detail.
If they looked in your direction, they would probably see you, but they seem to be pretty distracted.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily announce. I'm willing to just keep walking their direction with keeping an eye and ear out.
Yeah, you hear something about this is ridiculous. What's happened to the old chief? He didn't used to be like this. And someone talking about his younger brother seems different.
All right, I roll insight and get a dirty 20.
All right, so there seems to be something wrong with the old leadership. Either the old leader doesn't seem to be around, like he might have been missing, he might be dead, and it doesn't seem like they like who is in charge, and they're very confused with who's in charge.
It sounds like we have a villain to be fighting. Let's move.
Great. So Chimenos, you have the little the document, right?
Wait, which document?
The one that I used to share.
Oh, right. Let me see if I can open that back up again.
Yep, because I'm going to need that pretty soon.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, this is going to be great. I can feel it.
Yep. So do you want to? So what do you want to do?
I'm playing follow the leader.
But who is the leader?
It's course. It's the Inquisitor, the elf himself. I can't remember Devin's character's name, so that's why I keep calling him Nightmares.
All right. Can I use divine sense?
Oh my God,
to
the
find
dog-faced pony
heretic?
is still there.
Mm-hmm.
The what?
the lying dog-faced pony soldier is still there. No more. All right. So what are you doing, Ezekiel?
I said, can I track down this chief and use divine sense on him to see if he is a heretic?
All right. What do you? All right. You can, I guess. So are you gonna look for him, or what are you gonna do?
Yes.
All right. So
or actually, no. First, I asked Jack to help me ask around the village folk and figure out a little bit more about him because I suspect he is a heretic.
All right.
I will roll perception.
Yep.
Can I?
All right, so you go past all of.
I will roll.
So you go past all of
well.
the village chiefs and government officials, and then you go to the village hut right next to you, where where there is a baker named Bob.
Alright, I roll an 18 on my perception.
Okay, you
13 on my
notice
perception.
you notice several tribes members who are like shopkeepers, herdsmen, and they're going about their business. You hear more things about how the new chief doesn't drink millet beer, he drinks wine, and how that's terrible.
That is awful. Beer is the way to go. We are
Alright,
ruffians out
I
here.
get an insight on my next I get an 18 on my next insight check. And am I able to determine what the greater significance to them of him drinking wine is?
Yeah, so
Nobility.
they don't seem to have any vineyards. That's one thing. Wine is definitely more aristocratic, so that could possibly be why they're upset. You also notice that the largest building is partially demolished, and there seems to be construction going on it, and there are a bunch of workers who don't seem to be tribes members.
What does the largest building look like it was previously?
It looks like it used to be it looks like it used to be a structure similar to what Alexander lived in. But they seem to be building a much larger.
It's like a small town, right?
Yes, and they
that's
seem
what
to
I
be
thought.
building a
That's why I
large
said
building
this.
size of like let's say like an average American city's town hall.
That's why my character was like, he's drinking wine. That's not correct. He shouldn't have money to buy wine. He should be drinking barley beer and stuff that grows around this town.
Yep.
I go ahead and I approach. I go and start talking to these villagers and asking them if they have noticed anything odd about the new chief, and I suggest to Jack that he also investigate, because I suspect that there is heresy afoot.
Yeah, so these normal villagers, they tend to tell you that, we heard something. We heard that there's something where the old chief isn't running things right now anymore. They don't know why. They don't know where he is. They say that, like, I don't know, his younger brother, he seems different, and he doesn't go to any of their tribal gatherings, which is strange. And they don't know why he has changed the tribal hall that his brother used to live in, and is making like a new thing. So it's they seem very confused.
I think I would go like more than in investigation. It'd be like history, perhaps. But that would be.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all of these government officials, tribal chiefs, are talking about something.
11 plus 3 on history, 14. I was just kind of thinking like do they have any like rite of passage or rite of initiation that you'd have to go through that he's.
None that you know of, but from what you can get, he doesn't seem to be an average, like, normal chief. That's pretty clear.
No, it's not really our problem, but we do need to speak to someone from the Haywood.
We need to remove this corrupt chief from power.
I go ahead and I go talk to the officials, and is the chief among them?
Yeah. All right. So there are a bunch of like village elders and like minor chiefs that seem to be discussing with this young lady, and then they notice you, and one of them says, "We have important things we're talking about. State your business."
Shut up, you foul.
I
You are
roll.
not.
So
Where
I
do you
say
stand?
that.
And
I say that I
this
am
very
with
large
the
man-
Inquisition, and that I have suspicions that there may be a heretic, and
The
that
Inquisition
I
has
need
no
their
power
full
here.
cooperation. And I roll a 19
I
persuasion.
quiver my cross.
I pull out the bottle of whiskey. It's like I want to buy more of this.
Oh, talk to Flanagan. But anyway,
You will
right.
talk to
I
her.
don't like that introduction, but you do say you're looking for heresy.
Yes.
Well, I go talk to Flanagan.
Okay, I'm running. I'm gonna do a insight roll on that. You're looking for heresy.
Right. So there's
Oh,
definitely.
and I got an 8. I got an 8.
All right, I roll in.
You
I'm
don't
also
get anything.
rolling insight. Since
Guys,
I got a
can-
22 on my insight.
Can you
God,
guys
I'm rolling
stop?
so
Can
bad
you guys
today.
stop just rolling constantly when I'm talking? Like, please.
All right.
Sorry, it's all right, and because I don't know what you're rolling an insight on.
That heresy thing.
He didn't. He was about
mentioned-
to tell you.
Oh.
You asked him about heresy. Oh my god. Okay. Jesus.
It was just the way you said it. Me and both me and Dev got
Yes.
the vibe there.
Oh,
It
God.
sounded like he was saying it in a weird way, and I thought we should investigate.
No, I'm doing voices, but okay. So,
Well,
there
it's
seems
better.
to be something strange with the chief, and I think you should know about him. And it's and then the woman is like, I don't know if we can trust him with father. He seems to be very violent whenever he meets anybody.
How would they know that?
Huh?
I'll use my insight roll on how do they know that I'm violent with people. I got
No,
a 22.
they're talking about the chief.
Oh, never mind. I was very confused. I was like, do they know me?
No.
Your reputation precedes you.
Oh yeah, by the way, a bunch of beekeepers seem to be moving into the town square to sell their honey.
That way
Did
they
they
can.
bring the bees with them?
Yes.
Mine,
Well, like, yeah, one of them explains to you that that there's a bunch of beehive thieves, so they couldn't leave the bees where they were. It's actually an endemic problem in the beekeeping community. All right, so yeah, so they they tell you that well, she says that, like, you know, she doesn't know. Her dad seems to be very violent with everybody that enters the house that they locked him in, and it's like boarded up, and they basically essentially they don't know what happened, but he seems to call everyone a monster every time like any person goes near him. So they've essentially locked him up in that house, in this like small house, and they send food in there every now and then.
It sounds like you have a chief that is not effective at his job. Time to elect a new chief.
Well, there is a new chief. It's his younger brother.
But you need to make it publicly known that your chief is insane.
I ask if they could tell me more about the suspected heresy of the new chief.
Point of order, we are a bunch of murder hobos.
Is it
I haven't killed
asked,
nobody.
Is it
I've done nothing
possible
wrong.
that the old chief was cursed into insanity by a power-hungry heretic?
I mean, it certainly is possible. I haven't seen anything like this.
With many things are possible with heresy.
Anything is possible with heresy. Anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, she talks about how there is this this rumor going around that that heretics are around every corner.
It's not a rumor, it's the truth.
I show her the books and said every one of these books are connected with heretics. They are trying to indoctrinate our kids.
Are you going to explain to her how?
Oh yes, I'm going to say word for word what that guard was saying.
The guard. Oh my god!
Does my folk hero play into this? Does my folk hero play into this?
Probably. So she whispers to you. So how do we know that the Inquisitor is not part of this? Is not part of the plot?
He's the only one fighting the plot. I've seen this man murder many. I mean, remove many heretics.
Okay.
The word you're looking for is cleanse of their sins.
Yes, cleanse of the sins.
I was about to be worried for it. I was about to be worried for a second that a bunch of murderous homeless people walked into my town.
Oh, I've watched him.
You see me give a big toothy grin. These are my sharpened teeth with my scythe still slung over my shoulder.
I say that while many inquisitors do indeed take vows of poverty, I have not taken one.
I couldn't.
Yeah, there's one thing you've noticed. Almost no one is even paying attention to the fact that you're a tiefling here.
Oh, that's interesting. Here's a question. Is there anyone around that's just not paying any attention at all to like any of us that I might try and pickpocket?
Roll me a perception check because people seem to be very interested in this whole heresy business.
Okay.
For the record, I am getting away from the heresy business, and I'm looking for Flanagan so I can buy whiskey.
I'm trying to see my.
So you go to Flanagan, and he is a what is it? A red-haired elf.
That is really unfortunate.
Okay. I rolled an 18.
Yeah, so there is
does Gunther hold that gingers have no soul?
Gunther holds that all people have souls.
Shame.
All right. Yeah. So you notice that there is an old grandma who seems to have a gold bracelet on her on one of her arms, and and her arm is super thin because she's old, so it's kind of like dangling. And she's like, "Oh yes, there is definitely heresy afoot.
All right, I'm gonna try
tell my grandbabies."
I'm gonna try and swipe it off her.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand.
Ooh. 19.
Yep. So, all right. Give me a second. I got a perception check. It's probably not going to be that good. I think I'll give her like a +0 or +1.
Hey guys, this is Metal Minister here, not your DM. That would belong to our Lord Gunther. Just popping in with yet another mid-roll just to remind you guys, if you like what you see and like what you hear and you're having fun along with us and enjoying the shenanigans, please drop a like, share it, drop us a comment with anything that you would like that we're doing or that you'd like us to change or any ideas you've even got for future parts of our campaign. We're happy to hear it. Unfortunately, I have had to remove a rather humorous small section of this one due to YouTube copyright claims. So unfortunately, that small section will not be available in this one. But who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to go ahead and post that somewhere else. But until next time, everybody, hope you're enjoying and have fun. Who was playing that nonsense?
don't know. What the hell?
Who did that?
It was me. I wanted to make a joke.
There.
Oh,
Fixed.
what?
I
Oh
already
my
turned it
God.
off.
You realize I have to cut all of that nonsense out.
Copyright strike.
And I'm glad that I don't do these as public
Wait,
stream.
for a fan song?
Doesn't
I
matter.
don't think that.
They
Even
will.
if it's just some random guy on YouTube, you'll get a copyright strike.
Yes, they'll come after us for it.
Oh my God.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was unexpected and funny, but I can't. Yeah, we can't use other people's material unless it's copyright free.
Okay. She got a 9. You swipe the
All
golden
right.
bracelet from this old lady, from an old grandma.
Tuck it in my pocket,
All right.
and then I walk back to the group.
Oh, one of her grandchildren is asking her like, oh, what happened to the shiny thing? She's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it was in the house.
It's fine. I kind of just grin to myself as I walk away.
Oh my God. All right. So that kind of all of that distracted me.
Sorry.
Whiskey music.
Whiskey.
Oh yeah. So the red-haired elf Flanagan looks at you and is like, oh hello. Oh hello. Can I get you some whiskey? What type do you like? We got a firebrand. We've got a minted mint, and we have the regular kind.
I pull out the bottle and the that we got from the cultists, and some more of this, whatever this is.
Oh. You bought from my bastard cousin, Brannigan. Get out of my store. And then he like slams the door.
Alright. I make a religion roll to see if redheads have souls, and I roll a 5 on it.
They don't.
Okay.
You have made the interpretation that redheads do not have souls.
Okay.
And the barkeep who just refused service was redhead, right?
Yes.
Right, but I deliberately went away from everyone for this particular reason.
Yeah, no, you have no idea what's happening.
All right, I guess I don't do anything then.
You were just randomly thinking of the scripture about redheads and have decided they have no souls.
Well, to be fair, I often think about redheads too.
You're all a bunch of bigots. I can't have a redhead character. What the heck? All right.
So
If he have a redhead character, I will just suspect him of trying to steal my soul.
Did he throw us all out of this place, or was Jack?
No, he was Jack just entered there while you guys were talking.
Oh, okay. Well, they were talking, and while I was pickpocketing an old lady.
Yeah. I'm still talking about the connection between the books and the cult and
So you think it's the elves that are? So you think it's the elves that are conspiring to
I would turn them away from that idea because the great prof.
Wait, what did you say?
Oh, great! He dropped again.
Being censored by the elves.
I was gonna say, I lean over his shoulder and tell him, "You can't read. What are you doing with those?"
You know, the funny thing is, I remembered I am an elf, or at least a half elf.
Yes, you're a half elf.
Stop touching buttons.
So how long are you guys going to? How long are you guys going to spread a racist conspiracy theory against elves?
Oh no, I would not continue that. I would strongly point to that our Inquisitor is an elf, and I would say he's the only one fighting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. She's like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's definitely not the elves doing it. What about the gnomes? They seem pretty suspicious. There's a group of gnomes in Belfort to the east.
Gnomes could be rich.
Do gnomes commonly have ogre bodyguards in this universe?
Roll me a history check.
What the hell is going on?
If you don't get the reference, there's no point.
Are ogres ticklish?
It's just a joke.
This is such a ridiculous amount of shenanigans.
We are certainly living up to that moniker.
Yeah. So you've determined that no, ogres are not common bodyguards of gnomes.
So what are we having a great schism here? Or what is it that the Pope had? The
great schism between the Orthodoxy and Rome?
No. When the church leaders got together.
A council.
A council. What, are we having a council here?
No.
Deciding what's a heretic and what's not.
It's all right.
I was just making a joke about gnomes.
Okay. Let's continue. This is getting a little
There's a game
old.
in which gnomes did. There's a funny anyway. It's not.
Tell us
no
later.
one recognizes it. There's no
Tell
point.
us later. Okay.
Yes.
Later.
So Flanagan. I'm gonna go to.
That's my bastard cousin. I'm Brannigan.
There's Flanagan and Brannigan. Okay.
Yep.
Going to Brannigan.
Yeah, I'm the one who made the whiskey.
Well, I liked this stuff. I would like to get some more.
Okay. You notice that he has orange hair instead of red hair.
So he has half a soul.
Half soul. Ah! Yeah. So he is So he'll charge you 1 copper piece per bottle of whiskey.
Right. I guess I need 3 bottles.
All right. Remove 3 copper pieces from your character sheet. Like this is like some of the cheapest whiskey you've ever bought. You have no idea how he makes it this cheap.
I guess screw that. I'm gonna run into a carrying capacity issue here, but I would like more.
Okay, how many bottles of whiskey are you gonna buy?
How
Why
much?
not buy by the barrel?
Yeah, how much can I feasibly carry in addition to?
What's your carry weight?
Where would I find that?
It's
I-
your strength times 15.
Don't wizards have like dimensional bags or something that they can carry infinite
No.
items in?
That's the bag of holding. That's the magic
Yeah.
item.
Level 17 wizards do. Level 1 wizards do not.
He wants a level 1 wizard to be carrying a bag of holding.
That sounds ableist to me.
The magical wheelchair. I remember that. Yeah. So what's your strength times 15?
That would be equivalent to 14 times 15.
Okay, so what's that?
Yeah. 14 times...
Get a calculator.
Yeah. 200 pounds.
210
Okay.
pounds.
200 units.
So minus your stuff, let's say that's 180 pounds. So you can get 360. You can carry 360 bottles of whiskey if you fill all of your bags completely.
360. Okay, so just a moment.
That's 3.6 gold pieces.
Done.
All right. He is very happy to receive that much business as you literally clear out his stock, and he has to restock the shelves.
All right. In my
All you've-
inventory, I'm adding what? How many?
360 bottles of whiskey.
bottles of whiskey.
You realize every time you take a step, you'll make all this rattling, clinking sound. Just all the bottles rattle together.
Oh yeah, are you gonna figure out a way to like stop those bottles from clicking together and some of them breaking?
Why not just put all the whiskey in a giant barrel or something?
Just go get the horse trough.
Yeah, so Jack, what's your plan with all of these whiskey bottles? Because if you're just gonna carry that around in like the rough terrain or whatever, they're gonna be clinking together very violently, and some of them will break.
Well, I have parchment times 10. I can pad it with.
Okay. You're gonna use all. Okay, you use your parchment to pad the bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Good God, you're gonna have enough whiskey to drink for days.
Brannigan is just very confused that you're buying.
Don't you mean enough whiskey to drink for hours?
This is a business.
Jack is going to have psoriasis of the liver.
This is a very good deal.
Wait, the thing is, he wants to play a drinking game during the next debate of every time Biden lies.
Oh,
He needs more whiskey.
dude, I have to edit.
More editing.
Oh,
Stop it!
Why do you have to edit that?
No
Because
politics.
we're not
No
supposed to be doing politics. We're supposed to be just having fun, man. Come
No
on.
clear politics.
Oh,
I would suggest Jack renting a horse to take all that whiskey back to his place.
I mentioned to Brannigan that we located this brand of whiskey from some crazy people wearing red robes. Do you know anything about them?
Red robes?
I
mean, there's wizards. Mages come by every now and again, though the students at the academy stopped really coming around. I mean, some of them wear red robes.
like little scale patterns, like they're trying to pretend to be dragons or something.
I mean, there was like one about like 6 years ago, but he was kind of weird, and he said that he was like truly a dragon or something. But then he went to a different school, and I heard he stopped doing that.
That
You
sounds
know
like
what
a
I mean?
very familiar story, actually. Anyways, yeah,
Yeah,
I had to.
he said that he had like a spiritual tail or something, and complained when people sat next to him.
I
So-
drink. I start drinking a bottle of whiskey.
I suggest that sounds like heresy.
Well, yes, the special school taught him that was actually false. It turns out a demon was possessing him.
I take another sip. Like, go
um,
on.
What is my religion's equivalent of crossing myself? What in the world?
The Gunther version of crossing yourself. I haven't come up with that yet.
Apparently, Jack sat down too close to a dog, and now the dog is mad at him for drinking.
Yeah, so there's a dog who's like very puritanical, and he doesn't
What
like
is-
drinking in the middle of the day.
I offer the dog some whiskey.
Hey,
The dog
This
is
is
sufficiently
Steve, stop.
bribed and starts licking the whiskey.
hey, Knife Ears. I have a question. What's the church's opinion on drinking? I'm asking for a friend.
All right, I'm gonna roll religion.
I
And I got a
really don't
9.
like. I really don't like people using that language here.
All right, I rolled a 9 to try and answer Alexander's question on my religion check. Am I
Your
able to answer
religion check says that drinking is fine in moderation.
All right, I tell Alexander.
I'm just looking at. I'm just picturing Jack's character in my head. He's wearing like that a robe full of pouches, and all the pouches are just puffed all the way out with the tubs of liquor bottles sticking out of a few of them, all in all funny directions.
Then I point to Jack.
Weirdo. Like,
Is that moderation to you,
like
or is that heretical?
I'm not drinking it without moderation. I'm just carrying without moderation.
Yeah, so the chief's daughter is like looking at you disappointedly, and he's like, "Look, if you want to talk, we have a group of people who can't handle drinking too much.
The nighttime reference.
We call it Alcoholics Anonymous."
They may have made a mistake and now we're good. No, it's just.
So, DM, did you get my my message on Discord?
Like
What the heck's going on?
around your just millimeter around your skin permanently being like.
Oh, what's the message? Where was it?
I sent it to you a private message on Discord.
Oh, I don't seem to have it.
Ah.
I'm on a page. I'm on the.
You're on the other one.
Yeah, no, Well, okay, I'll look on my phone.
Oh, no big deal. I can copy it and paste it in the regular Discord.
No, I have my phone right here, so.
Oh, all right.
Don't worry, go for it.
Yes or no is fine.
Can we have the barkeep stock a liquor named Ogre Killer? Description. Do you oh. Hello?
Yeah.
What the hell's going
Sorry,
on?
we cut out. I mean, you should ask him about it.
Okay. Well, then I meander into the same bar there that Jack was just in, and I lean up on the counter and I ask the barkeep, like, you don't happen to stock anything called Ogre Killer, do you?
I haven't heard of it. What is Ogre Killer? I could.
Let me put it to you this way. If you take a sip of that, you'll wake up the next morning in the arms of a demon you really don't want to know.
Huh. That sounds very heretical.
That's the point.
Why would I want to spread heresy in my bar?
Because heresy's fun.
Ezekiel, what do you think about heresy being fun?
I'm joking. Doesn't Pence like to laugh?
We're not sure.
Yeah.
I guess I roll religion. I get a 3 on my religion check. Does Pence like to laugh?
Saint Pence was a very humorful person. He was a jokester. That's what you remember.
I start laughing in a very forced manner.
Ha ha.
like that Final Fantasy game.
But ha 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 ha.
All right. So the whiskey incursion is over. So you guys gonna keep investigating? Seems.
Sure. Where I asked where this where the new chief is and where the old chief is. I want to go check out the old chief's place first and see if I can detect if heresy was involved in his insanity.
Well, while we're walking through the crowd, though, really quick, I kind of I want to look around and see if anyone here might be wearing the sigil of Set.
You can't find anyone that seems to be wearing it.
Okay, I'm always going to be keeping my eyes open for that. So
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he will tell you the locations of both. So about near the center of town is the house that's all boarded up, where they're holding the old chief, and the new chief seems to be in a pavilion that is on a plateau that's at the top of a plateau nearby that is overseeing the town while the construction is going.
I go to the building with the old chief, and I use my I roll perception and insight. I get a 17 on perception and a 16 on insight.
Yeah, so the house of the old chief is completely boarded up, and there are about like five youths guarding it. And they all have like clubs, and they're looking at you suspiciously, and they're like, sir, what are you doing here?"
He's an investor.
I don't know if it's dangerous.
I informed them that I am here to investigate possible. Oh, you turned your camera on there. I say I'm here to investigate the possible involvement of heretics in the old chief sudden insanity.
He is the Inquisitor.
I need access to the building because I am an Inquisitor, and I roll persuasion. I get a dirty 22.
You look very official, so they agree with you, and they're like, "All right, you have free reign over the building, but be careful." Chief is he doesn't like anybody.
I'm definitely going in then.
Same, and I go in, I use my divine sense, and do I detect anything?
Okay, so I'm going to post stuff. All right, so the old chief. He looks like this. Oh.
You know, and I will share the screen.
Yeah. Minus the spear. He does not have a spear on him.
And I'm going to start heading to everyone with my whiskey.
Okay. So, so as you see this man, he seems to have this, like, crazed look in his eyes. His pupils are tiny, and they just seem to dart around everywhere he goes. And he's rambling about like demons all around him, like surrounding him and scraping at his flesh, and he like looks at you, and he starts like this very like guttural screaming and like demanding that you leave, and that but you're not going to that you can't damn him or whatever.
Hold on. Ready? I got this. I step forward and I make, because my eyes glow when I want them to. I step forward with my hat tilted down to put shade over my eyes, and I make my eyes glow a bright silver. And see how he reacts.
This is going to be fun.
So,
No, it's not going to be fun.
let me just roll something.
By the way, did my divine sense detect anything about him
Oh yeah, just give me a
or
second.
the surroundings? He's
Yeah,
what?
just give me a second.
Alright.
Does a 12 hit you, Chimeras?
Nope.
Yeah, so he tries to punch you, but he seems to be too freaked out by your presence, and he misses. Yeah, so you can definitely sense that there's something really wrong about him. You seem to sense this like these dark strands that seem to be coming out of his out of the back of his head with your divine sense, and there seems to be something wrong about him. Like something's there. There
Sounds like heresy to me. I draw my sword.
You sense a presence.
By the way, can paladins do exorcisms?
Do you have remove curse or or the?
I mean, I'm a first level
it,
paladin. I don't have any spells.
So you can't do it or expel evil.
All right,
There are spells that do exorcisms.
I yell my intention to exorcise him using my sword.
Yeah, I put my hand on Ezekiel's shoulder for a second and say, hang on just a second. Because I speak in Infernal. So in Infernal, I ask if there's the name of the demon currently present, controlling him.
So all right. So he doesn't seem to understand you. But Kaimenos, you get a very strange sense the second you start speaking Infernal, and there does seem to be some familiar presence about this, and you don't like it.
I throw a javelin at him, and I roll an 18.
Oh my god.
Okay, can I try to swing my scythe to knock it away?
Yes. All right. Make competing attack rolls, I guess.
Okay. You got an 18. No, we tied. 18.
What happens?
Doesn't ties go to the defender?
I think so.
But
yeah, you're able.
Who is the defender? Because he's intercepting my attack.
Because he's defending the chief.
There's a defense.
Yeah.
One
And
is
I
an
look-
action of attack. One's an action of defense.
Okay.
I look back, I glare back at Ezekiel, like, would you knock it off for just 2 minutes, please?
I say that we cannot tolerate the existence of a demon on the mortal core.
And I
for
can't
even 1 minute
I can't
longer,
tolerate the existence
because
of your
he
nuts.
might,
Now shut up before I cut
spread
them off.
his heresy to other individuals, and so
I put the
I
tip
will.
of I put the tip of my scythe up between his legs and tell him, move again, speak again, you lose them.
and
And then I look over to Jack and I
shrug.
Alexander and be like, will you hold him back for 2 seconds, please?
I tell Chimeras that if he sides
Not
with the
get
demon,
into a fight here.
then I'll fight him as well. Because I will fight any who stand in the way of the Inquisition.
What would Pence do?
All right. So
Use lightning to fry all enemies of the Inquisition.
Oh my god. All right. So Manos, you So what are you gonna do?
Well, first, let me ask: do I recognize the sense that you were telling me about, the demonic presence?
Yeah, so you definitely know that there seems to be a very evil presence, and it seems very familiar to you.
Okay.
It's not necessarily set, but it's definitely something in his realm. Like that. It's familiar enough to where it feels familiar enough to where there is a very good chance that there is some involvement of Set in this.
Okay. Now roll an
Anyway,
insight to see like how, like, if this is actually something from Set or just, like the difference between.
Yeah, roll. Give me an Arcana check. I think that's what that would be.
I got +1. A 10.
Yeah. So, there's not enough. You don't have enough evidence to tell one way or the other. It's definitely demonic. It's not a possession though. That you do know.
Anyway, I am still going to attack the demon, but I will keep an eye on Kymenos in case he attacks me as well. And also, I roll stealth in order to try and attack the demon without him noticing. And
How can he not notice you? We're all standing in front of him, and he came in out.
Isn't that what stealth does?
Well,
isn't that what stealth checks are for?
Maybe he doesn't notice him because there's a wizard in wizard robes full the brim of whiskey who is now definitely nursing a bottle. And
Well, yeah,
holding his head.
You're gonna have to get Alexander. You're gonna have to get those two distracted before you can do a stealth.
Well, I'm only trying to avoid
Why would I want that?
intercepting my attack. I don't care about Alexander or Jack.
I walk to one other side of the room. This
I'm
is
not
me
getting
walking.
involved.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll stealth, and either it's gonna work or it's not. I have a 16.
So, are you wearing heavy armor?
I think I'm wearing medium armor.
Oh, okay. Does your armor do anything to impede stealth?
I'd have to look. Stealth disadvantage. Oh, so I need to roll with disadvantage. Let me try. Alright, I get a 14 this time.
Alright, come on, so you get a roll of perception.
Sure. Let me see. What do I get on that? That was a 22 work.
Yeah, so you hear like the clinking of armor as Ezekiel is just tiptoeing around.
All right.
And like he's breaking multiple branches as he's doing so.
All right, I turn to him and I literally go, Zeke, there's something to do with Set here. Give me just a minute to figure it out. Then you can go to town.
Wait,
Zeke,
is that a demon or is he a god? I forget.
Let us figure this out
He's actually a god.
before we just blindly attack.
He claims to be a god.
Yeah, he claims to be a god.
A lot of demons claim that they're gods.
Alright, I say that I will only incapacitate him for now. And I move to cut off his arm.
That's not
incapacitation. Let's not. Let's figure this out, and then you can kill the heretic. I mean, the devil.
Did you even bother to
You
tell
can't
us?
kill you demons, and he like runs into the corner.
Did you even bother to tell us, what you noticed with your divine sense there?
Didn't I yell out, "It's a demon" or something? I think I said
No.
something like, "It's a demon. I'm gonna
you
purge
sense
it."
you sense the presence.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
recognize that that it appears to be of demonic and and related to Set. I think he said that you noticed like black tendrils or something coming out of the back of his head.
Yeah,
but
black
you didn't
threads.
say. Yeah, but you didn't
I
say
don't know.
anything to us, so we wouldn't know.
I said, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I said I was gonna exercise it with. I was gonna yell that I would exercise it with my sword.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell us what you saw.
Oh, I thought it would be obvious. I'm gonna exercise it. It's a demon.
Right.
Okay.
That
Or at
tells you
least
what you're
Ezekiel
doing.
thinks it's a demon.
Yeah, that tells us what you're doing, but doesn't tell us what you saw, which was kind of the point. So that way we would know.
Well,
so that
Ezekiel
that way we
saw
could.
a demon, so he said he was going to exercise it.
Well, you saw threads of black from the
I'm
back.
not
of his
playing a particularly smart character here. He has
At this point, I'm not
literally, I
playing a
have an
particularly sober
intelligence
character.
penalty.
This is getting great. It's like I'm putting my kids to bed and you're starting a fight.
I'm gonna get drunk.
I'm gonna walk over and start ask Jack for some.
So Jack and Alexander are just sitting down drinking while this is
Yeah.
going on.
I will happily share.
Okay.
Not like you don't have
Well, you
enough.
certainly got plenty.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna
Tracking,
try and
by the way.
I'm gonna try and get in Zeke's way and try to look this guy in the eye, and again, you said he didn't understand the infernal. I'm gonna one more time though. I'm going to try to talk to whatever presence is like in him or around him or whatever it is that's causing him to be insane.
All right. So what are you saying in Infernal?
I'm demanding that. How do I put this exactly? They reveal their affiliation. Like whoever it is like they have to reveal which demon or god or whatever they are affiliated with.
Yeah. So you do sense a presence at that, and the presence seems very angry with you. Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
You see a symbol forming. Yeah, you see a symbol forming on the basically directly above you on the roof, and it looks like this. Like an eyelet.
Interesting.
It appears to be like the eyelet of a dress.
Okay. Stupid question because I cannot remember what the symbol for set is in this.
It's definitely not the symbol of set.
Mm-hmm. And it's like forming above our heads. Do we all notice it?
You notice that.
I notice it. All right. Well, I'm going to draw everyone's attention to it.
You guys
what
just
is that?
see the ceiling.
I draw my crossbow.
All right, I yell that this is a waste of time. Be gone, foul demon.
Everyone
And
else
I charge towards
you
him.
just see regular wood on the ceiling.
Okay. Well, then I describe what I'm seeing on the ceiling then.
Oh.
To everyone. And then I actually tell Zeke. And I point it out and I say, Zeke, attack that instead.
The thing on the ceiling?
Yes.
Oh wait, Zeke, are you going to use your divine sense or?
I already used it. Didn't I?
Well, on what
Wait,
I'm
how
telling
long
what I'm
does
telling
that
you
last?
now.
How long does that last?
now.
Oh, it works on everything within 60 feet. Is this building more than 60 feet in radius?
Oh, it's not more than like 20 feet, but yeah. So
Yeah.
how long does that
So-
last? Because you were doing stuff for a while.
Oh, it's one. It's only detects whatever is there at the time.
Okay, so
Yeah. So yeah, Zeke, you actually would see the islet then.
All right. Then I guess I yell another demon. I will not flinch in fear of numbers or something, and I throw a javelin at it. I got an 18 on my attack roll.
What did you get on your roll?
18.
Okay, so you strike where the islet is, and it basically goes right into the ceiling. But it seems to have phased through the islet. And Kaimenos, you hear like laughter in your mind, and an image appears in your mind of a court jester.
All right.
So I tell them
I-
what is popping into my head right now, that it's telling me this thing is a prankster of some kind. I think that it's playing us for fools.
A prankster demon?
Then what do you suggest we do?
I suggest we exercise it with steel, and I roll a nat 20 on my attack roll towards the old chief guy.
All right. So you got a nat 20. Roll your damage, I guess.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Is there a special way to roll critical damage? I don't think I've gotten one before.
No. When you get a critical hit, you roll double your dice and damage.
All right. So I get 6 plus 15 damage.
Okay. So you chop his head off. Kaimenos, as he decapitates the old chief, there is just hysterical laughter in your mind. Like absolutely hysterical. Whatever this thing is, it is incredibly happy that Ezekiel did that.
I look right at him like, "Good job, dumb shit. You just did exactly what he wanted you to do."
Congratulations. Investigation out.
I suggest that I will be coming for the second demon next.
And how do you plan on getting to it?
I say I will cross that bridge when I get to it, but many times demonic and heretical forces are disunited and allied against and fight against each other, and we must not allow ourselves to believe that heretics and demons are friendly simply because they are an enemy of another heretic or demon.
What does that even mean?
It means that I need to kill all the heretics.
Well, great, 'cause you just killed this guy, and we don't even know if he was a heretic. You just murdered him. You just committed murder.
He killed a demon.
I respond that he was
didn't.
clearly
Demon's
possessed
alive.
by a demon, and that we did not have anyone capable of exorcising the demon more gently.
You have no idea.
You have no idea what you just
guessed
did.
it. Now this thing is free to float around and do whatever it wants to someone else. Good job.
You're damn right I am.
I suggest that even if that is correct,
Did we all hear that inside
it can
our
hide,
heads, or was that
but it can't run, or it can run, but it can't hide. I will. The Inquisition will track it down and kill it, no matter how many times it takes.
Yeah, you all did hear that.
I actually can't believe you did that. Oh my God.
I walk
Foul
over.
demon,
I kick Zeke
beware!
square in the
I
nuts.
will come to kill you next. What does he get on the attack roll?
You can't see him. You can just hear his voice.
What?
You
I
can't
think we
see,
lost
you can't,
Truegrave again.
Oh my god. You can't see the demon, you can just hear his voice.
But we could all hear it, so it's at least not possessing one of us. Is there like that symbol on the like ceiling?
Well, yeah, there's still a symbol with the javelin sticking through it, but only Chimeros can see it because the divine sense is worn off at this point.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, I'll still poke around at the top there with my quarterstaff.
I'll walk over and check with
well,
the body.
What will they think with the old chief dead? What will they do? What will they do when you leave?
I don't know.
I'm going to hand them Zeke.
I suggest that the villagers will be glad to know that a threat of heresy and demonic possession has been temporarily thwarted.
Has been doubled because now it can go wherever it wants. God, you're stupid.
All right. Well, I
Who
look
will
at
I
my.
curse next? I wonder.
Well, you don't want to go
Maybe
into
one of you.
Do we
No,
still
you don't
have
want to.
that-
You don't want to possess me because I'm gonna have a massive hangover tomorrow.
Do I still
Wait, actually, that sounds fun.
Do we still have that laser eye hanging
what kind of
around?
liquor are you drinking?
I lift up the bottle of whiskey at the voice in my head.
Oh, he's like, that's just piss water. Only ogre killer.
Wait, ogre killer?
Yes.
What?
That's the only acceptable alcohol you mortals create.
Sure, I'll buy some.
What? There's none of it here.
Oh, but where is it?
Why would I do you a favor?
Because you said you liked ogre piss?
Ogre killer.
Ogre killer.
He starts talking to you, Chimeros. Like, is this guy serious? Like, am I really having this conversation?
You have no idea. Alright. I actually walk over to the corpse while this thing is talking. I'm gonna like
blood is pooling.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like check him over and see if there's like any. First of all, why not? I'll look for any valuables, but I'll also look to see if there was like any marks or anything on him, where like brands or like marks from whatever this thing that possessed him.
There doesn't seem to be any marks on him.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 19.
He was very fun to torment.
Wait, that's.
I am slightly disappointed that you cut my fun short. What was it? 23?
Yeah, I rolled a 23.
Well, you do notice that he had a very clean cut.
What was that?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You noticed that Ezekiel gave a very clean cut. He probably didn't feel anything. Yeah, there are some traditional there's a golden circlet around his neck, which is very easy to remove now. There are some bronze bracelets and other tribal parts of a uniform.
Okay. Well, I'll slip the necklace off and I'll actually throw it at Zeke. And I'm like, here, you can explain what the hell you did to these people.
I respond that to the demon that if indeed he was a unwilling victim and not a heretic, he has now been freed and rests with Gunther.
That's all you hear from
Also-
him.
You got gas?
No, like a chuckle, like the start of a chuckle.
Like I said, when you got gas?
He says, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Well, since
Anyway.
you're chattery here,
Yeah.
are you connected with Set?
I don't know if I want to talk about work.
Oh,
But I'm so happy right now.
you son of a bitch!
Look, we had a get going, but right now, my contract's kind of over. Thanks to your pal here, which, by the way, I'm very grateful. So, I think I might spread some chaos while I'm here.
All right,
I've got at least 3 weeks.
can I actually see anything other than just the symbol on the ceiling?
No, you can't. You can just hear him.
Does Zeke have a superior or someone else who would know how to properly exercise something that appears to be immune to normal weapons?
You'd have to ask Arlen of Beckland, who is the Inquisitor who sent you the letter.
So I don't know any priests or paladins with more than 1 level.
Not right now. No.
Not from my prior time at the whatever the
monastery,
whatever.
No. Mystics are incredibly rare. They're becoming more common.
So
one of the
I
things
don't know.
you've heard from the
I
clergy
don't
is
know
that
any level 2 paladins.
yeah. One thing you do know from the clergy is that they said that the amount of mystics has increased in the past 30 years.
Good.
So there's that.
I'm confused. There aren't any level 2 paladins?
Not that you know of, because they're incredibly rare. Like again, you have a very small circle of
Yeah, so mystics, you just mean you mean higher level character classes. You don't mean a new class.
Yeah, no. A mystic just refers to like a cleric or a paladin, so someone who has divine powers.
I see.
Basically.
Speaking of divine powers,
Yeah, so like you are very rare.
Well, I don't have any actual divine. Well, I don't have many
you have divine
powers
sense.
right now. That's the issue.
No, you have divine sense. That's a very
but
rare
that's it,
ability.
basically.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, so what were you saying, Jack?
I guess Ezekiel leaves to go write a letter to his superior saying that he has found a demon that he cannot entirely exorcise, and that he needs someone more skilled in the supernatural.
Yeah, so you open the door, and one of the teenagers asks you, "All right, so what happened? So what's going on in there? What did you find out about the chief?"
I tell them that he has been freed from the demon's possession.
Yeah.
But
that's great. That's great.
Unfortunately,
that's great. Hey, chief.
Unfortunately, he did not survive the experience, as I was unable to free him. So I just rolled a nat 20 on that persuasion check. I wasn't expecting that.
All right. So what do you tell him? What do you tell him?
I say that I was unable.
While this is all going on, sure, I finished a bottle of whiskey and was kind of negotiating with the demon about good alcohol. But I do not have any mystical powers, but I do have a prayer book, and since we do have a dead body on the floor, it's probably time that I'm going to go through the prayer book and just give like some generic last rites and light some incense. It is a slain chief, after all.
Okay, so Ezekiel, you're very good at persuading them. Like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. And then he starts hearing the last rites, and he's like, oh, why is someone doing a eulogy?
Inquisitor.
I suggest that perhaps Jack was a close friend of his.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
No, I'm not trying to persuade. I'm just saying I don't know. Maybe he's his close friend. Maybe he's a friend. Because I don't know Jack that well, so how would I know?
He says, all right, I think I should go in there and ask him.
I say that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so the youth goes in there and notices the decapitated corpse of the chief.
Yeah, he also notices the fact that in Zeke's fist is the gold chain from around the dead chief's neck.
What? I never picked that up.
I threw it at you.
I never said I caught it.
He doesn't notice the necklace, I guess, but his face goes white.
Didn't I just
and
tell him
he
this?
is going to turn around and attempt to run.
We're going to stop him from running.
All right, make an athletics check.
Oh, great. Can I make an acrobatics check and jump right in front of him?
All right, make an acrobatics check.
Sweet, you let me use something I'm actually good at.
All right.
That's a roll. 18.
Well, well, he's jumping in front of him. I'm actually going to hope this demon is like a little preoccupied with what's going on, and I want to see what happens when I cast Ray of Frost at the emblem on the ceiling.
All right.
I got to make an attack roll with it.
Okay. Yeah, the demon is just like, oh my god, the drama.
That would be
like he thinks this is the greatest thing ever.
That'd be a 21 to hit.
21.
Yeah.
You hit the area with the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to freeze the javelin and the ceiling, but it doesn't seem to affect the symbol.
Which is too bad because I rolled max damage on it too.
Part of the roof starts to crack.
This is not good.
No.
How do you do with your acrobatics check? We're gonna have a contest here.
He got an 18. I don't care if the guy gets out. I didn't have anything to do with this.
That's my
No,
take.
but
21. So he just like barrels past you and starts running towards the lower chiefs and other officials and the old chief's daughter.
I'm pulling out my crossbows and getting ready for a fight because this is probably going to be bad.
And all 16 of them start pulling out axes, and they start yelling we have murderers. And so
Wait,
a bunch
I thought I
of
succeeded on that. Did I succeed on that persuade check or no?
Yeah, right up until he walked in and saw the decapitated body.
Well,
When you
but
said
I
he didn't,
told him what happened.
you said he didn't survive.
Jack,
You didn't say you cut his head off.
Jack basically ruined it for you
I
by
see.
doing a eulogy.
Oh.
You were about to get away with it, but Jack was like, I'm going to do a eulogy. So.
All right. Ezekiel doesn't really understand what's happening because he doesn't think he did anything wrong, so he just puts the sword away.
Get
I
your
just
blade
murdered
out.
the old chief I just murdered the old chief when I said I was going to investigate.
This is a fraud.
He doesn't
You
think
killed
he
their
murdered
chief.
the old chief.
They
He
are
thinks
pissed.
that he cured his demonic possession.
Okay,
That's
so there's
not
like
what they're thinking. They think you killed their chief. Now get your
so
sword out.
So about 20 tribe
I
members.
say that I would
including the
prefer to
bartender-
run away because they are not heretics, and so I'd rather not fight them.
We're in a house.
Yeah.
I
They're-
say,
they're about
I
20
say,
they're about
well,
20 feet
we
away.
I
have one
suppose if I
exit.
must,
Very quickly.
and I
one
draw my
entrance.
sword. I say, I
Be
suppose
ready
if I
for
must.
a fight.
and draw my sword. Sometimes these things happen.
Right. Okay. So there's 20. There's 20
Sometimes
people.
idiots
There's 20 people with
kill
spears,
the chief.
and they're all calling out other people in the town, and more people are grabbing weapons.
This is
a back
not
door?
good.
Is there a back door to this place?
No.
It's boarded up. The whole building's boarded
It's
up.
just
There's
made
no
of
window?
wood. Can we cut
It's
away
boarded
out?
up.
Can we cut away out out of? Can we just cut one of the windows open?
You can do
You
that.
can. They're closing in, and they're
I'm gonna start shooting crossbow
They're demanding
bolts at them.
they're demanding that you give up Ezekiel.
I walk forward to them and I re-explain the same thing I did before.
I closed the door to the building behind him, so that he's outside there by himself.
All right, I got a dirty 20.
So what, all right.
I got a dirty 20 on it.
All right, let's do the insight, I guess. The crowd. All right, it's good enough so that they're not going to murder you on the spot. The crowd is going to demand that you immediately surrender to them and drop your weapons.
I say that I will not surrender my weapons because there may be heretics around, but I will sheathe them because actually first I use divine sense just in case they're being incited by a heretic. Do I detect any heretics?
No. By anger.
You do not detect any heretics. You just detect the demon in the. You detect the demon in the house behind you.
They're incited by the fact that you cut off the guy's head.
They're mad.
Look,
they don't care about the religious aspect
Ezekiel
of it.
doesn't.
They care about the fact that you killed their chief. They love their chief.
Not anymore.
Ezekiel does not.
So,
Consequences
so the autistic elf gets killed.
Oh my god! All right.
So Ezekiel tells them that he will he won't surrender his weapons because there's still a demonic presence lingering, but he will sheath his weapon.
Yeah. So they're starting to surround you. They all have spears around you. There's about 8 of them surrounding you with spears, and they're demanding that you drop your weapons.
I'm gonna bet you guys a gold
All right,
coin
I
that
go
we lose our
ahead
elf
and
companion.
at this point, Ezekiel figures that they're serious, and he tries to roll deception to say that there was no other way to free the chief from his suffering, and that at least this way he will be resting with Gunther. I get a dirty 23 on that deception, and let me roll. I got a dirty 24 on persuasion.
Wow.
Okay, so they're going to be they're a bit less hostile, but they still want you to drop your weapons. Like they're lowering their spears, but they want you to drop your weapons.
I sheath my sword and I present my hands to say, "Look, I'm not armed." I tell them that I just have to be prepared in case the demon tries to get revenge for freeing his prey.
One second, hang on. While he's out there doing that, I'm in here with these two, and I just look at both of them and go, either of you guys got like some rope or some tape?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna weekend at Bernie's this thing, or otherwise Ezekiel's gonna get murdered.
All right.
I
have
have
some
my rope.
Okay.
I think I have a rope. I got the adventures kit. Doesn't that come with a rope?
I tie the head back on.
Prop it up with the shovel.
We don't even prop him up. I ease the door open. I assume his eyes are still open.
Make your deception check.
Okay.
Eyes are not open because I closed them during the last rites.
I swear you're gonna end up getting us all killed by desecrating his body.
I'm not helping.
Yeah, so
It's a deception plus. Where is that? That'd be a 19.
Wait, wouldn't there be a ton of blood all over him?
yes.
Not necessarily.
I don't understand this.
You decapitated
A
him.
bunch of his like clothing just has blood that's like bled into it.
Well, doesn't one of us know prestidigitation or something?
I
You
do.
could ask
I
the
do.
wizard.
Yes.
Prestidigitate the blood away. Hurry up!
I want no
Alright,
part
so
of this.
what
I wanted
is-
this to be respectful.
I would like to
you
know what the
Have minor
villagers' response.
illusion?
I just kick the door open and I just lean his arm out and wave it up and down like, I'm okay. Everything's okay now.
Alright, so you're like, so there's
I
gonna be,
tell
like,
the villagers
get the
to
cheap.
pay no mind to Kaimenos. He is slightly insane and has a very dark sense of humor.
We'll have to arrest him for desecrating horses later. But anyway, yes. Get rid of your sheep. Drop it.
I tell them that.
Come on, this is getting
I am-
ridiculous.
I tell them that I am concerned that they have nothing to fear from me so long as they are not heretics, and that I am concerned that the demon will take advantage of any weakness to get revenge for my freeing its prey.
Okay.
Do I need to
So,
roll
someone's
another
gonna make it,
persuasion
so-
for that, or is it part of the previous roll?
Someone got an 8 on their athletics check. You want to roll athletics to oppose them? Someone's gonna try to grapple
Alright.
you.
Athletics.
So this is how the elf
Or
dies.
can I roll acrobatics and oppose that with dex instead?
Yeah, you can try to squirm out.
I got a 19.
Yeah, so you're able to dodge him, and they're just like, seriously.
I
Okay.
suggest that
They're like
or-
holding back the
wait,
chief's
wait.
daughter. Like, come on, we need to have an investigation. We need to get to the bottom of
Okay.
this.
I put the chief's body back down, like leaned up in the corner, and I look at Jack and Alexander like, should we just go out there and like hold him down or something before he gets all of us murdered?
I don't know this guy.
I'm still wondering. Do
I mean, you can
need
pretend
to,
like you can disassociate from him, but I mean,
do
that
I
is a
need to-
fantasy.
Do I need to roll another persuasion for saying that I need to keep
Alexander's
my sheep,
realistic.
or is that part of the
Alexander
previous roll?
thinks he's dead.
That would be a different roll.
All right,
Remember-
I get a 12 on that roll.
They don't seem particularly convinced, and they're like yeah, like I like look, you probably had your reasons, but we need to have an investigation, and you can't be armed. So they really don't know why you're not just giving up your weapon. They're like very confused. They don't feel persuaded that you need your weapon.
I lean back out the door again. Just give your damn weapons up.
Let's see.
You're still acceptable to the rule of law.
Can I just run up
I
behind him and
am.
whack
I
him in the
just
back of the head?
Ezekiel just does not.
He's kinda
think he should
surrounded
be
by
giving up
people.
his weapon.
No. If I could just run up and donk him unconscious.
Okay.
I mean, you could
Let's
probably
see,
shove your way through the crowd.
I tell them that I have no issue with an investigation, and that they need not fear my being armed because I will not oppose it.
You just beheaded their chief. Why would you think for even a second they don't think you're just going to try to hack your way
I
free?
I was under the,
Yeah, so they're-
the impression
they're-
that
like,
they
Ezekiel
like it.
thinks that the chief is a heretic, and so therefore it's different.
Yeah, so
Or
the
no, he
so-
was demon possessed.
They probably
whatever.
don't care that he was a heretic.
Yeah, so the
because
yeah,
they
so
liked
the-
him.
Yeah, so the posse around you are like really irritated, and they're like looking behind them. It's like, hey, can you pass me the clubs? And they're like reaching his arm back, and it's like, oh yeah, here, and they're passing it, and they're
I
all
put my
gonna
hands-
All
start,
right.
they're all gonna start.
put my hands in the air.
Notices
Nope, I'm done. I'm
and says, "All right, if we and he
Why
says,
doesn't
I
he
am
just give
willing to
his
come
damn weapons
peacefully."
away?
But All right, so I say that I am willing to come peacefully, but if we cannot do that, then as an agent of the Inquisition, I will resist any attempts to forcefully disarm my ability to hunt heretics.
So
And,
they
I
say drop your
intimidation.
weapons.
I roll intimidation and put my hand on my sword, and I get to 20. Or 20, natural
Nope.
20.
I'm out. I want nothing to do with this anymore. Jack, hand me a bottle.
We're all three drinking.
Natural 20?
Yes. Intimidation this time, not persuasion. But the bonuses are the same, so it doesn't make any difference.
Okay. So they really don't like it, and they're really angry. They think you're being ridiculously unreasonable. But they are scared of you enough when you're invoking the Inquisition that they stay their hand. And they loosen the circle around you quite a bit, but
All
they're
right.
still leveling their spears at you.
I think
they're gonna
that
say,
I'm,
I look at the two
I'm
guys
glad
with
you
me
can be
and I
reasonable,
say,
and I
"Can
take
you
my
believe
hand
this?"
off my sword.
Yeah, everyone is giving you like really dirty looks.
So, at what point can I just suggest that they can commence their investigation without me giving up my weapon? Because this is... How many rolls is this gonna be?
Oh, you've convinced them. They're just not happy about it.
Oh, all right. Then I say that I will comply with whatever investigations they need to commence, and if they have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. For the glory of Gunther.
Right. So, with that, I guess we're gonna end the session because it's 10:30, and I'm gonna have to think of a bunch of nonsense now.
That was my summary that I just uploaded to the server.
What summary?
I'll show you just a second.
Oh God.
Because I can't look at the server while I'm here because I'm doing this through StreamYards through Discord for some reason.
Harris investigating a house fire.
So how many times?
All right. Good night, all.
So how many times?